Well, here we are, day 6 of our arrival into Oshkosh. The slow and low group. It's been an amazing trip. This morning, Sunday morning, leaving Whiteside County. We're a flight of 2 with my friends Shantel and Steve. And William, you got to fly this leg of the trip, didn't you?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah. Your third time coming into Oshkosh with me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I flew the approach into Oshkosh up until Green Lake Hold.
So here's William, 15 and a half, third time into Oshkosh, and actually flew the Fisk approach as far as the Green Lake Hold. So if you're watching this and you're thinking you want to do it, but you're a little intimidated, just know it's totally doable. Just takes a little preparation, study up. We're going to show you some still shots of the NOTAM here. Read through it, study it, look at the diagrams, watch our video, watch some other videos. They've really cleaned it up. This Endeavor Bridge waypoint is where we started. Really brought a lot of order. Here is a screenshot of FlightAware right before we got there. We're right about here. And actually I'm going to pause just a second here so you can see what, there's Endeavor Bridge, so you get an idea what it looks like. So starting from there, just follow, and it's important to know, it talks about this in the NOTAM, but it's very much a visual approach. Use the GPS waypoints, but you have to fly it visually. Your head needs to be up, looking outside the cockpit 100% of the time. Endeavor Bridge to Puckaway Lake, that's what you see here is starting at Puckaway Lake. And at this point, there was a little bit of chaos going ahead of us because the Cirrus mass arrival had just showed up, and so the controller was battling with some mayhem farther ahead of us. Now I think you're going to see, here's Green Lake. So we're just approached Green Lake, and as we got here, the controller said no more traffic into Oshkosh at this time. Everybody hold wherever you are. So here we are. Williams flying and puts us into this hold. Did a great job, and actually the camera's going to run out of battery here, so we're going to switch shortly. Read through, here's the holding procedures. Just be familiar with them, get an idea of what the patterns are going to look like. This is kind of fun. As soon as we did that, we got put in the hold, we took that shot. You see how the traffic pattern changes. William took our second camera and just held it out the window to catch the rest of the arrival. So at this point I took over flying, and he held the camera out the window for the rest of the trip.
That was definitely tiring on my forearms.
Yeah, 100 miles an hour of wind. We're flying about 95 miles an hour or 100 miles an hour. So if you're a slower airplane, they ask you to get in earlier because they want you doing 90 knots, which is a struggle for some of these airplanes. Here you go. That's is that Ripon? Right? Okay, here, now take note, there is the railroad tracks right underneath us. They want you to be directly over. That's the highway over to your right. Don't fly directly from Ripon to Fisk over the railroad tracks. And I think up here, as we get closer, we get a chance to see where they ask us, are you a flight of 2? Because they're wondering why we're so close together. The answer was yes. And they said, okay, the first airplane in the flight of 2, rock your wings. That's how you acknowledge their instructions to you. Yep, there you go. So the pictures in the NOTAM are okay. They give you a good idea, but watch our video, look at what these visual waypoints look like so you're familiar with them. You don't want to be depending on GPS for this. You really want to know what it's going to look like visually. So here we are. Real time now. Some of this flight's been fast forwarded just to get you through it a little quicker, but this is real time, us doing right about 100 miles per hour. And there's the rock. Nice rock. And we were given instructions to fly the Fisk Avenue to expect 3-6 left. So if you fly Fisk, they're going to give you 3-6 left or 3-6 right. If they tell you to continue up the railroad tracks, in a case like on this day, it was landing on runway. It was 27, wasn't it, William?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
So we got pretty lucky, because that's right where we wanted to be.
Now, 3-6 left was perfect for where we wanted to camp and park at Vintage. We are just over and just on the north side of that road, knowing that our flight of 2, the other airplane, was just off to our right. And I think you'll see this tower. Did we already pass it? Oh, maybe we already passed it. So if you rewind and look, you'll see where the tower was, and I just wanted to make sure we had space there for our counterpart. But so here's the highway, the freeway coming up, and there's our second rock. So at this point, there's a controller, a tower controller at the airport saying, flight of 2 high wings, rock your wings, and then they gave us clearance to land on 3-6 left. With instructions to land for us on the yellow dot, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yellow dot, which, look here, that's quite a ways down the runway. So, super important to be comfortable flying low, either shortening your approach, lengthening your approach, flying the length of the runway. Definitely be practiced up and be proficient. It's not going to be your standard pattern like you learn as a private pilot. So get out and get comfortable with your airplane. Pretty excited there. Those are some happy faces, huh, William?
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. It was interesting this time too. There was 2 controllers on the same frequency.
Alright, I think we'll turn any second here. I've got this set at real time so you get a good feel what it's like. There's like a military surplus yard or something on the right. That's a bunch of jeeps or whatever. I'm sure. Multinational Guard. I don't know exactly what it is, but as soon as we turn left, you'll see the airfield. And then on the left hand, which would be the west side, you'll start to see all the airplanes already there set up for camping. So 3-6 left, which is actually the 3-6 runway. The 3-6 right was originally a taxiway that's been modified to use as a runway.
And just recently, I didn't do that.
Yeah, they widened it to 60 feet. Yeah. We had some friends come in a day ahead of time, so one of them, Alex, got footage of us landing. And it's kind of funny. What you'll see is we're cruising along, so we've passed the threshold, and the second landing spot is the purple dot. We were given the yellow dot. I was doing my best to keep up a little bit of speed so we didn't jam up traffic behind us, and then here comes the yellow dot, and I was a little bit fast for it, and there was no way I was going to fly past this yellow dot and not touch it, so here you go. Here's the footage from the ground. Watch closely and you'll see where I dive down to touch it and give it a nice little bounce. William was a little bit embarrassed by my crude landing. Or maybe we should just call it 2 landings. Right. There it is. Yeah.
That was definitely exciting.
That was fun. And there's Steve and Shantel right behind us. And they're flying at, what model is that, William?
I think that's a Model 3.
Kitfox 3?
Yes.
Yep. So yeah, this is right. I split up the bounce. There it was. I think you see the second landing right there. Steve and Shantel went up to the ultralight area to camp out with some other friends of ours that had Kitfoxes. And were there any Rams up there, or did the Rams guys all go to the Stoll Corral?
I think Greg and the Rams.
Greg is in the Rams. That's right.
He went there.
They want you off the runway as soon as possible. If you're not comfortable being on grass, find an opportunity to land on grass or taxi on grass. I actually prefer to land on it. We've got just a little bit bigger than standard tires, and so it's actually saves a little bit on the rubber if you can do that. Almost this entire time, we are not talking on the radio. You are simply listening to instructions. And And once you're off the runway, they've got flag people who will give you marshalling instructions. Once you're there, you put up your little sign. Actually, you can see it right there, VAC, which is for vintage camping in our case. Fast forward this taxi, because there's some long taxis, depending on whether you're going to North 40 or South 40, and what runway they have you land on. They're ahead of us, you can just barely see them. There's a little person on a moped that's guiding us down. They wave us over, and here we are, taxiing into vintage camping. We got super lucky with an awesome spot right along the runway and just across from the ultralight field where our friends in the Stoll competition and our friends in the ultralight camping area were. Amazing trip in, amazing way to end a 6-day adventure. Yeah, so thanks to all of our friends that we met. Special thanks to Corey Robin for coordinating the whole slow and low to Oshkosh. Awesome people, awesome adventure. Definitely looking forward to doing it again.